Hi and welcome back. It's been a couple of weeks that I haven't made any videos. My last video that I made, I was talking to you about the Olympus, the OM2N, which happens to be a film camera, which is what you see right over here on my back screen. All right, that is the Olympus 2N. That is the OM2N, which is a film camera. It's an awesome camera. All right, but today I've got something new for you. All right, and I am staying in this Olympus because Olympus is doing quite some changes, but it's also really close to me for one simple reason. When I actually went from film to digital, this was actually my first digital camera, and it is the Olympus. It is the Olympus digital camera. It is the Olympus, the OMD EM5 II, as you can see right here. It is a camera that is so well made, and in my opinion, I've used all of the Olympus cameras. I've got the M1, I've had this one. I have a lot of the Fuji cameras, but this is a sleeper. All right, this is a sleeper, and being that this is Olympus week, in my opinion, as far as cameras are concerned, this has got to be my favorite camera. That's correct, my favorite camera, even more so than a Fuji film camera, and I'm going to tell you the whys when we come right back. Okay, so now we're looking at the video coming straight out of the Olympus, the OMD EM5 Mark II. This video that I'm showing you right now, I've got it set at 1080p at 60 frames per second. The audio is coming directly straight from the camera. There's no microphone attached to it. And the lens that I'm using is the 14 to 42 millimeter lens, and it is set at f4.0, and this is the quality of image and video, I should say, that you can get from this camera. Very simply put it, nothing spectacular, nothing. I haven't changed any settings, which you can do. You can also tailor it and actually adjust a lot of things. You can adjust the audio of the internal microphone. You can adjust the look that you have on the video side, and obviously whether you want to record 1080 at 60 frames, 30 frames, or 24 frames per second in the NTSC, and PAL at 50 frames per second or 25. And of course you also have the 720 selection, different selections, right, to be able to record at that lower standard as well. So this is what you're getting from this actual camera, which I think is pretty good at its price point. Okay, so we're back. So let me talk to you a little bit about Olympus. All right, Olympus, in my opinion, after working with Leica, Fujifilm, Olympus, Nikon, I really didn't have my hands too much on Canon because Canon never appealed for me, except that at one time I owned a Canon 60D, and after that, seeing all the other cameras that Canon made, it just wasn't for me. And I understand, everybody's got their own opinions and their own likes, but for me, a camera needs to be well made. And well made is not necessarily mean, in my opinion, right? It's not necessarily mean what is inside a camera. Of course, what's inside the camera is very important, but I think that when I go out and shoot, I want the camera to feel really nice. Now, before I say anything more, let me tell you, all right, in this video, I'm not going to talk to you about so much about specs. I'm not going to talk to you about all the technical stuff. There's plenty of videos out there that actually talk to you about all these things. I'm going to talk to you today is about my personal opinion as to why this camera is actually my favorite camera out of all of them, including Fujifilm. All right. First of all, the camera is extremely versatile. All right. And what I mean by that, I mean, yes, the Olympus, the M1 has more features, but it is bigger. It is bigger, not much more. It's a little bit bigger, a little bit bulkier. And so it is more of a professional style camera. And it's okay to be a professional style camera, but not always do I want to go around carrying a professional style camera. For example, if I go to some country like maybe like Mexico or I don't know, any of these other countries that is prone to a lot of theft, I don't want to be seen with a super professional camera, although this here does look very professional. But that's one reason, and the other reason is just heavier. And if I am traveling, I want something a little bit more comfortable. Now, if I want to make this camera professional, looking more professional, I can always add a grip to it that Olympus makes, and it's going to turn this camera very professional. Not only does that grip allow you to give me a better grip, but it's a two-part grip that also I can attach another battery, giving it more battery life when I'm using the camera. Now, take a look at the quality and the craftsmanship of this camera here. So when I look at this camera right here, as you can see here, you can see that all of this here, everything that you see here, none of it is plastic. All of it is made out of metal. It is like comparing a Casio watch to a Movado watch. In other words, a Swiss-made watch where all of this precision, you can feel it. It's metal, not plastic. The whole plate is metal. The bottom is metal. The side is metal. You know, it's a Leica quality, Leica made style. When I say style, I mean as far as is precision, as far as is the quality. I don't know how best to explain it. You know, it's just well made. It's just super well made. Now, Fujifilm has that. Fujifilm has that until the X-T5, the X-H1, which you can see videos on my channel on it, and on the X-T5 and the X-H2S. Those cameras lost the quality that Fujifilm used to have. The last Fujifilm camera that was made with precision was the X-T4 and the X Pro 3. Now, with that said, this camera, I've got it right now paired with a 14, it's a kit lens, all right? It's a 14 to 42 millimeter. By the way, this hood does not come with the lens. This hood is an add-on that is made by Olympus for this particular lens that just gives it that extra, you know, beautiful look that it has. But this lens is not, you know, a great lens. I'm going to tell you that right now. It's not the best lens that Olympus has, all right? But it's a nice lens, all right? It's a nice flexible lens. The camera itself is, the camera body itself is stellar. The camera is smaller than a Fuji X100V or X100V6, or 6 I should say. It's smaller. It is a little bit heavier because it's better built. If I wanted to make this camera smaller this way, they do have a pancake lens, which is a 14 to 42 easy lens. It is not a super great lens, but it's a nice lens that you can put on it, and now it becomes very, very much the same size as the Fujifilm X100V or the X100VI. And so with that said, that is a super huge benefit. Furthermore, if you look at the back, the camera has a screen that actually articulates outwards. What do I like about this particular setup? Well, one of the things that I like about this particular setup is that I can actually film myself, vlog myself. Let me take the cap off so you can see. I can actually vlog and I can see myself, all right, while I am actually filming myself, all right? You can see it there, right? And so that is wonderful. And the other thing also is that for me is very important is that when I am going to store the camera or I'm going to put it around my neck, it protects my screen. These are the things that I look that are like important to me to be able to actually have something feel right for me. Not only that, it is very light. So when I put it around my neck, it's extremely light. It is very quote unquote hip looking, just like the X100. But even furthermore, the pictures that it gets is stellar. I'm going to show you some pictures, and then we're going to come back and we're going to talk a little bit more as to some of the other things that this camera can do. So let's take a look at some of those pictures. Okay, we're back. Now, those pictures that you saw there came out of this camera. Now, this camera only has a 16 megapixel sensor. And after shooting with the M1, which has a 20 megapixel sensor, I personally like the look of the 16 megapixel sensor much more than the 20 megapixel sensor. And that's one reason why I like this camera better. Now, let's talk about a little bit more about video. This does not have 4K, but it does have 1080p up to 60 frames per second. And the video that it does is not 10-bit, it's 8-bit, but it is so nice. And what makes it so nice is that the in-body stabilization for this camera is the best out in the market. Let me explain why it is the best, because this is something that a lot of individuals don't know. Being that this is a micro four thirds sensor and that the sensor is a lot smaller than an APS-C or a full frame sensor, when it has to stabilize that sensor, since it's so small, it is easier to stabilize and it does a much better job than any other camera. That is one of the biggest main features of shooting with micro four thirds, with the other added feature, which is that on a micro four thirds, in order to do the equivalent of a full frame, you gotta multiply it by 2. For example, this lens that you see right here is a 14-42. A 14-42 means that it is an equivalent lens of 28mm/84 on a full frame camera. Now, if I was going to get that type of a lens on a full frame camera, it would definitely not be this small. So size also is very important when you look at these micro four third cameras, because that means that you don't have to carry a big lens to be able to have that sort of a reach. Now, everything has its pros and cons. The con about that is in depth of field, but it's not so bad as people actually say. All right, because actually it's not bad at all. It's just that you have to do computational math to understand that in order to get a equivalent depth of field of, for example, a 2.0 lens, you might have to get maybe, and I'm just guessing, maybe a 0.95 lens for that equivalent, or maybe a 1.2 lens. You know, I don't know what the computation is, but you definitely need to get a faster lens, right, in order to have that equivalent of that, what we call bokeh, you know, or that means that blurry background that so many people love to get. You know, I don't do that because I don't shoot with bokeh. Bokeh is secondary to me. It's maybe if it's available, it's great, but I don't. Some people love to shoot with bokeh. I don't. Okay, I like a little blurry background, but not so much bokeh that you can't tell what's behind the subject that you are actually shooting or you're actually photographing. That's one thing. Now, for filming, because it is heavy and it's not so far apart, and it has great IBIS, besides the lens, this lens also has IBIS. And by the way, this is the second version. It's great. It's really, really good. Now, another feature that I like is, let me turn this around so that we can start turning the camera on so you can see it. I think I took the cap off. In order to, when I turn the camera on, you will see that it says the lens is not fully extended, right? And that is a feature that is a sort of like a double feature, right? Which means that in order for me to start filming, I need to unlock the lens, extend the lens out, and now you can see. Let me sort of grab it in a way that you can see. You can see me here, right? Can you see me on the screen, right? Okay, so you can see me, and I'm only an arm length away at 14 millimeters, not even an arm length. Here it goes. I'm an arm length away. So that means that the camera is excellent because it's very light. It's excellent for vlogging as well. Obviously, you know, if I put the screen on the side so I can see myself, I don't have that because I'm showing you that the camera is very well for vlogging. And let me turn it. Let me show you something, a little trick about this camera. I can assign this little level here. I can assign it right now. It's to photo, but if I switch it down, now it's on video, right? You can see it, the video, because you can see the microphone inputs right there. So now you can see me there, right? And you can see that the microphone is actually working and how well the microphone picks up. Obviously, if you want more, right, you can add a microphone to it. It has a microphone port that you can add a microphone, which is, let me see if I can open this up this way. Okay, which is right here. You can add a microphone. You can add, let me see what else it has. It has the HDMI, and then this here is for your data, so you can hook it up to your computer, right? So it's really, really good. Now, on top of all of this, the camera has really some great features. One of the features that it has is, you can see, it has a histogram. You see that histogram? That's that little thing right here, right down there. That's the histogram, right? At this price point, with as much as you can get out of this camera, it is a great value. Now, on the second market, on the second-hand market, you can pick up this camera, the body alone, right now, you can pick it up for about $400. That is the going price of this camera, $450. You might get lucky and pick it up for 300, but the average price for the two is about 400, 450. The lens, about another $100. So in reality, for around $500, you have a camera that has a lot of power, more power than any of the other cameras that you see out there. Furthermore, with this camera, you also have the ability to control the white balance. You can control actually just about everything. You can even control the color spectrum. I'm going to show you. All right. Let me turn this camera back on. Let me turn it. It's on to photo right now, and let me show you the. Okay. This here is what we call the curve. You can see here the curve for the highlights and the shadows. All right. Now, tell me how many cameras come with that, okay, at this price point. I can control the highlights and the shadows of my photos as well as my video. Now, let me show you something else that it does, okay? I can go to, let me go here. Okay. And, all right, let me apply. It has what we call partial. It has all sort of things, all right? So let's do this, okay? Now, it also has what we call, you can see here, that is a color wheel. I can move my color wheel so I can actually give it more green, less green, more blues, purple. You know, I can customize the look that I want coming out of the video or as well as the photo. It records raw photos as well as JPEGs. You know, it has a lot of benefits that are really hard to find. Okay, let me see. Okay, that are really hard to find. You can set it's called the PS the PASM dial. Okay, that you see right there. It's got for your art. It's got for your screen. On this mode here, screen, the camera does everything for you. It even selects the best look that it believes it should use. It has even a mode here. This is kind of cool. Let me show you. I don't think I've ever seen this in another camera. Let me show you this mode here. Okay, in this mode here, all right, what it does is it actually shoots. I can select the mode. This one happens to be the 3. Okay, frame. So I can put one picture here. Let's do it this way. One picture here, another one there, another one there. Or I can select to something different. Okay, let me select it. Okay, you can see it here. I can select it to someone different. See, I can select it. I can select how I want my frame to look. Is it 2? Is it 3? Let's go here. Let's go there, and then just press OK. Okay, and there you go. You can select it. I can select my. So you can see I'm adjusting the colors on actually my compensation with the front dial. All these dials, every single dial, all right, that you see in this camera is programmable. All right, every single one is programmable. Let me put it in. There you go. Okay, every single one is programmable. By the way, this is my computer that you're seeing there. So it's got, I want to get a little bit more light. Here's my compensation. It's at 0. My f-stop is at 4. I can zoom in. This is my manual focus. I can zoom in. And it keeps its focus no matter what. It keeps its focus. This, guys, this is a sleeper of a camera. Now, I got a great deal, okay, on it because I just purchased it. The first one that I had sold it, and I think that was the biggest mistake that I did. But as a camera, and I really missed it a lot, but I have not had the opportunity to get a camera of this nature in this condition. This was actually brand new. And when I say brand new, it was actually I bought it from somebody that was used it a couple of times to do some underwater shooting. I have an underwater housing for it, and she didn't use it. Okay, she didn't use it. The shutter speed is like less than 50 shots, if that. All right, it's crazy. Okay, it's crazy. You can see how new it is. It came with the box. It came with everything. It did not come with the lens hood. I had to buy the lens hood separately. I ordered the lens hood separately. But everything was brand new. Even the strap that you can see here, the original strap, you know, brand spanking new. This one I got lucky and I only paid $300 for it. Okay, $300. It was a killer deal. It was a no-brainer. Oh, and it, wait a minute. That's not it. Okay, that's not it. Okay, it also comes with a wonderful flash. This camera comes with, when you buy it, okay, new in the box, it comes with this flash. And let me put it up in here. It comes with this flash. Now, what's nice about this flash, you see how small the flash is? Don't underestimate the flash. Oh my God, don't underestimate the flash. Okay, this flash, you can do bouncing. Look, you can actually bounce the flash. You can turn it around. Okay, this flash is crazy. It doesn't need batteries because it takes the power from the camera itself. But look how beautiful this camera looks, okay, with the flash and all. It's a stellar camera. It's a good looking camera. It's nice. It handles very well. It's well made. I cannot speak anything more about how well this camera is made. Now, the one afterwards, the 3, does 4K, but it is not all metal. All right, huge change. They went from an all metal. This top is brass and the bottom is brass. You know, it went from that type of construction to the newer style that everybody is using, that composite, and it's just, yeah, the camera is lighter, but it just doesn't feel premium when you hold it. It's still good, don't get me wrong, it's great, but it does not feel as premium as this little baby right here. So anyways, I hope that you like this video. And let me tell you something, all right? The last video, one of the last videos that I did a giveaway, and the winner was Louis Luzuka. I think that's how you pronounce his name. I still haven't received his mailing address for him to email me his mailing address so I can send him his prize that he won. And therefore, I still have it here. I'm waiting for that. So if you are listening, Louis, please send me the address. Otherwise, I'm going to take that book, all right, and I'm going to raffle it to somebody else. All right. So with that said, this particular video, I do not have a giveaway. I do have a giveaway, but I am going to wait till the next video. In the next video, I'm going to be giving an antique. It is an antique camera that was built in 1938, and it does work. It does work. Very, very rare. So if you want to win that camera, please start subscribing. Put your just subscribe to YouTube and subscribe to my Facebook channel and my Instagram. And put on the comment, you know, I want to enter the drawing, all right, and I will enter the drawing for next week. Next Sunday, I will make another video on that particular camera, and that particular camera is going to be the one that I am going to be raffling. So go ahead and hit that subscribe button, hit that Facebook friendship, and that Instagram. You know what I'm talking about. But as for now, this camera that you see here is an awesome sleeper. Highly recommended. So until next video, guys, take care, and I'll see you on the next video. Bye-bye.